In show business, there is a saying. It's not what you know, it's who you know. But how true is this? Can a name or a connection really give you an entire career like that? Let's find out. I'm your host, Amanda McKnight, filling in for Michaela, who also worked on the script for this video. It's kind of a collaborative piece at this point between us. And today we'll be attempting to answer that question as we count down the top 10 celebrity Nepo babies who don't belong in Hollywood for one reason or another. What do you think of Hollywood? What does it represent to you? Let me know in the comments. Number 10. Lily Rose Depp. Like a lot of the stars on today's list, Lily Rose has been known to not acknowledge the fact that she comes from privilege. More so, on many occasions, she's actually fought against the theory of nepotism, playing the biggest hand in her successful career today. Though whether this is true or not is obviously kinda hard to tell. I personally feel like Lily Rose Depp definitely has the look to be in film and be a model, and so that she has working for her. She brought that. I mean, she was born with the way she looks, and she probably works on the way she looks too. And her name and connection to both her celebrity parents has probably also helped to open at least some doors for her. She's the daughter of actor Johnny Depp and singer, model, and actor Vanessa Paradis, and made her film debut in Tusk, which her dad also starred in alongside her. Both Depps starred in the spin-off Yoga Hosers. The model, who's now a Chanel brand ambassador, met the late Chanel creative director Karl Lagerfeld through her mom. She told Elle, "The internet cares a lot more about who your family is than the people who are casting you in things. Maybe you get your foot in the door, but you still just have your foot in the door. There's a lot of work that comes after that." Previously, she told Australian Vogue, "It is obviously a really easy assumption to make to think that I would just have roles landing on my doorstep because of my name. But that's an idea I've always kind of rejected. I've always been under the impression that I have to work twice as hard to prove to people that I'm not just here because it's easy for me. I feel like you're not what your name is. If you're not right for something, they're not just going to hire you because your name looks good on the post." And friends, before we move on to our next spot on this list, if you like what we do here at BTS, be sure to click that like button. Number 9. Maggie Gyllenhaal. While some might seem more debatable in terms of how much their nepotism truly paved the way, there are others who, while having a famous name to lean on, actively try to prove their merit and actively challenge themselves creatively. To me, Maggie is one of those people. She's not only extremely talented, but she also comes across as being low-key and down-to-earth. And she hasn't really just settled for safe roles, but has actively sought out more complex ones and diverse ones, even expanding into a director role as well with time. A lot of people seem to forget that both Jake Gyllenhaal and his sister Maggie were born into a family that already worked in the industry, and not only that, I believe they were also born into Swedish royalty as well. Maggie even attributes much of what inspired her to her mother, Naomi Foner, who is a screenwriter and director who received an Academy Award nomination and won a Golden Globe for her screenplay Running on Empty, and directed Very Good Girls, which starred Dakota Fanning and Elizabeth Olsen. Number 8. Gwyneth Paltrow. Gwyneth Paltrow is the daughter of actor Blythe Danner and director and producer Bruce Paltrow. She made her film debut in the TV movie High, which was written and directed by her own father. On Hailey Bieber's YouTube show Who's in My Bathroom, what a weird name for a YouTube show by the way, she said, "As the child of someone, you get access other people don't have, so the playing field is not level in that way. However, I really do feel that once your foot is in the door, which you unfairly got in, then you almost have to work twice as hard and be twice as good." She continued, "People are ready to pull you down and say you don't belong there, or you are only there because of your dad or your mom." I do think Gwyneth had to work hard to prove herself, but I also feel like her nepotism has allowed her to get away with some pretty wild things in regards to building her own brand. Number 7. River Phoenix. Some may not consider River Phoenix a child of nepotism, considering that growing up, his life was honestly kind of rough, and his parents were described by him as hippie-ish. They weren't well-known performers or directors or producers, but that doesn't mean that nepotism didn't play a role in River's success. It was actually his mother, who had a job as a secretary at NBC, that was able to use her position and her connections to get her children a place in the spotlight, calling a casting director at Paramount and getting her son a job in the industry when he was only 8. Basically, putting them in front of the right people. That being said, both River and Joaquin were definitely talented youths, even I'm sure their sisters were, who I believe more than earned their place. Now, in River's case, fame actually ended up being a massive massive burden on him, one that he actually never sought out, but was more thrown into by his mother. And that cost him dearly in the end, likely playing a key role in him losing his life at the age of 23. Number 6. Hailey Bieber. Some may not know Hailey Bieber is the daughter of actor, director, and producer Stephen Baldwin, and the niece of actors Alec, Daniel, and William Baldwin. Before she was married to Justin, her name was Hailey Baldwin. However, she followed more closely in the footsteps of her model cousin Ireland Baldwin and her model sister Aliyah Baldwin. In 2016, before she married Justin Bieber and changed her name, she told Grazia, "I want to do everything on my own without my name being a factor. I try to keep myself separate from it." She continued, "Kids that already have a famous background are just following in their family's footsteps. My dad and all of his brothers have done this. This is my family business." Some could interpret this as literally using your family's footsteps to pave your way, as opposed to carving your own path. But, it could kind of go either way, really. I understand what people are saying. They come from a family, obviously you're going to use those connections. But to what extent? To what extent? That's what we're asking here. Number 5. Rashida Jones. Initially, Rashida Jones didn't even want to be involved in the family business. You might recognize her from the cast of Parks and Recreation, but before ever entering the industry, she was working towards a job in the justice system as a lawyer or possibly even a judge. In fact, she even went to Harvard. She worked really hard to be in that other field. Her father is famous music producer Quincy Jones, and her mother is actress Peggy Lipton, who you might recognize from Twin Peaks, where she played the owner of the Double R Diner, Norma Jennings. It wasn't until later in her life that Rashida decided to change careers and work towards a role in the film industry. Although she comes from folks who work in this industry, Rashida attempted to always apply her father's advice to any job that she worked in. She said he had always advised his daughter that whatever you do, you have to work really hard to get really good at it. Number 4. Kendall Jenner. Kendall Jenner is the daughter of reality star Kris Jenner and Olympic gold medalist Caitlyn Jenner. Of course, the model is more well known for her connections to her reality star sisters Kim, Khloe, and Kourtney Kardashian, and Kylie Jenner. She has said before, "Of course I had a platform and I never took that for granted. I always knew that was there, but that almost made my job a little bit harder, only because people probably didn't want to hire me because I was on a reality TV show." Well, that definitely sounds like it would make being taken seriously a bit of a challenge. Many people also never get the opportunity to even be on a reality TV show. Well, I have no doubt this created challenges for Kendall as she worked towards becoming a model, and mental hurdles in regards to, awful things people likely said and say about her online. It's also important to consider that her role on the show likely also opened some doors as well. Number 3. Zoe Kravitz. Zoe Kravitz is the daughter of actor Lisa Bonet and singer Lenny Kravitz. She shares a publicist with her dad. Her standout roles include her part in the Hulu series High Fidelity, which was a TV series remake of the 2000 movie that her mom starred in, and Catwoman in The Batman. Although Zoe had also voiced Catwoman previous to that in the Lego Batman movie. Her first role, however, was a small part in the film No Reservations, where she played a gothic academic babysitter named Charlotte. That being said, I feel that Zoe Kravitz has proven herself as an actress kind of many times over at this point. And while I'm sure her having family in the industry helped her to launch a career, she still started with smaller roles and had to work her way up to becoming Catwoman. In fact, Zoe also has opened up about her own struggles working in the industry, sharing that when she sought to audition for a smaller role in Dark Knight Rises, she was actually turned away, being told that casting wasn't going urban on the part. Number 2. Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner, like her sister Kendall Jenner, is kinda cut from a pretty similar cloth, becoming famous at a young age on the reality TV show Keeping Up with the Kardashians. A few years ago, Forbes labeled her as the youngest self-made billionaire in history, which of course prompted many people to call out Forbes for mislabeling her, saying that, it's easy to become a billionaire when your parents are millionaires and you come from privilege. That being said, Kylie did smartly use the status she garnered from the show to elevate herself and her brand. So, is she somewhat self-made, or is she not at all self-made? That being said, is anyone really self-made in a world where wealth tends to remain with the wealthy? Number 1. Bill Skarsgard. Bill Skarsgard is a talented actor who was also born into a giant film and television and just in general artistic family. The Skarsgards. I would say his breakout role was as Pennywise the Clown in 2017's It remake, but even before then, he'd been working and hustling in smaller and less well-scripted projects since the year 2000. We gotta go way back. Well, he definitely got help with his name. I'd also just say being a member of the Skarsgard clan gives you a leg up because you're surrounded by a lot of other talented performers. And I think ultimately when we talk about nepotism, it's important to consider that a lot of these people are just inspired by the people around them that help them get to where they are. Both sides of it. Also depends on what you bring to the table. How much work are you putting in? I think we gotta consider that part too. Or how much work are you not putting in? That's about it for this one. Let us know your thoughts on nepotism in the comments. I want to hear them. Until next time, be kind to each other and remember to drink some water today.